Yeah, good day, everybody. Welcome back to our Genesis class live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg of the Noahide World Center. I've really enjoyed the last few weeks. They've been very thorough and informative lessons. You can find them in the social medias on Sunday. Feel free to like them, share them on social media. Make sure you like this video. Let's just jump right in and see how Rabbi Chaim is doing today. Shalom, Rabbi Goldberg. So good to be with you. I look forward to this class. I'm going to turn it over to you, sir, and let you take it over from there.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening from Jerusalem. Hope everything is fine with everybody. Everybody who came here, everybody, those who are not here, that only on the internet, everything is fine. Yeah, excited. So we have here everybody, Angelica. We have two, Angela. Very good. But, fair enough, everybody. Good evening. By us, everything is fine. We had a few days of a battle with a few Arabs who thought that they can throw us out from the Hebrew land, but it's not working like that. Thank God, the prophet said that we're going to return back, so we came back. It's not that, few Arabs can take us out. They might nudge us, they might disturb us, but not more than that. Hopefully, they will learn that we are here and that's it. But now it's behind us, and let's go inside. And I would like to start with a question. I think that we spoke about this issue a few times, but it's something that it's important also to discuss. Let me frame for a moment what we're speaking about. We are in a preparation for accepting the Torah next Thursday night, Israel time, on Friday morning. Okay, so we have the preparation now for that. And for that, we are doing a series of learning. And tonight, we're going to learn another very important thing that is part of the preparation for accepting the Torah, for getting to say to God, okay, He wants to give us His words, but we need to prepare ourselves for that. So we're going to discuss another very important thing that is related to this. So let me start for a moment. Do we know what is the uniqueness of the human on top of all of the rest of the world? Give me answers, whatever is on your mind. What is the uniqueness of the human spices, what we call?
We have the choice, free choice.
We have free choice. So if I understand correctly, you're saying that the main point that we have is the thing of the free will, or the will that we have. We have will, and it's free, not like the others. Okay, thank you very much. Are there any more answers?
I will add that we can speak.
We can speak. The dolphins also can speak, but it's a very small language in compared to the human being. And also the elephants are speaking, but it's again a very small language, as you're saying. So you're saying that we have also the possibility of speaking. Thank you very much. Are there more uniqueness for the human spices in this world? Not everybody together. It's okay. Hey, hi, Ariel. Yes.
We can choose to pray and be thankful to God.
So you say you're going again like Mike about the thing that we have the free will of doing things. Okay.
We don't have the ability to reason.
Both of you spoke together, so one by
Ladies
one.
first.
Yes. Yes, Angelica, please. Yes.
We have free air. We don't have to pay for our air that we breathe.
But the animals also don't need to pay for their air, so it's not uniqueness for us.
True. Well, we care for each other.
So
we
you're
should
saying
care
that
for
we.
each other.
Okay, so you're saying also that we have some sort of a relation. Okay.
Yes.
The dogs also have some sort of relation, but it's very small in compared to the human. Okay.
Yeah.
The dogs also don't kill one each other. We do.
Rabbi, we are upright.
We're upright.
We stand on our feet.
This is also true. This is also true. Look,
our head is up.
It's above. It's very interesting what you're saying. We are bringing the food to us. The animal is going to the food, going down to the food. Okay, are we above the food, or we are bounded to the food? Fair enough. Mike, you wanted to say something else.
I was going to say, Rabbi, that we have the ability to reason.
Oh, so another thing that you're saying. So first of all, I'm really satisfied with myself because all of you said things that normal people are not saying them, okay? All of you spoke about the free will and the will that we have, and this is the most important thing. And this is something that it's a uniqueness for the Hebrew sages to speak like that. Most of the sages of the world are saying that the most uniqueness part of us is the ability to have reason, okay, the logic. We have the ability to think. By the way, the most highest climax of the thinking that we have today is the AI, the open AI, that you can start to discuss with the computer, okay? But it doesn't have any free will, okay? So we have, it's interesting, it's not a coincidence, okay, this situation, but the understanding, this is a big debate between the Hebrew sages and the rest of the world, that most of the sages of the world are saying that the uniqueness of the human being is a possibility of thinking and reasoning, and they have the ability to have reasons, whatever it is, and we can see this with this device that we can speak today one with each other. While the Hebrew
recording in progress.
While the Hebrew people are saying, I started the recording. Who started the recording?
Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Okay. Dan, you have the... Excellent. So we don't need to record it on the Zoom. Okay. So most of the sages of the world are saying that the main part of the human, or the main uniqueness of the human species here is that they have the possibility of thinking and reasoning. And the Hebrew sages are saying, no, we're speaking about the free will. By the way, and this is very important also to note, how do you express the free will? Now, look good, because I'm going to be very exact. This is the free will is being expressed by our words, by our speaking. The ability to speak, this is a free will. Now, even the AI today that is being technologized in all sorts of ways to listen to a lot of things, we can't say that it can pray, right? It doesn't have any meaning, if you want, that the AI will pray. Only a human who have a free will have the ability to praise God, to say thank you to God, and to pray. So the AI or the machines can speak, but they don't really know how to speak. They know how to behave in a way that we reordered them, okay? We had put in inside all sorts of codes, exactly how they're going to speak and how they're going to function in all sorts of ways. But it's not working with their own free will. They don't have free will. I know that Isaac Asimov said that we will come to this situation that the machines will be able to have their free will, and then they will stand against the human people. But it won't happen. I won't go inside to this. Maybe we will connect machines to all sorts, the AI to all sorts of machines, and this is where things will become more complicated. But the machines and the AI and the computer doesn't have free will. This is where we're starting to see the differences. Let's see this for a moment. Let's start from Genesis. Okay, we all know this verse in Genesis. I have difficulties with my internet in the last few days, so I'm sorry I didn't prepare this up front. I tried, but I didn't manage. Okay, now we're going to Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Remember that, it's always there. It's not moving from there, okay? Chapter 2, verse 7, and we're going to read it, and then with Rashi. Please read verse number 7.
7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust from the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils the soul of life, and man became a living soul.
Now, these words, living soul, what exactly is living soul? And especially if you compare these to the animals. Let's see Rashi for a moment. Here, a living soul, please.
A living soul. Cattle and beasts were also called living souls, but this one of man is the most alive of them all, because he was additionally given intelligence and speech.
Two things Rashi is mentioning here. Intelligence, this is, Mike, what you said, the ability of reasons. This is intelligence. And speech, Lara, what you said, speech, this is what we're saying, the possibility of the free will that is being expressed with this speech that he have, okay? Not a very simple example, okay? Take a class of 30 students, ask them a question. If they, I will say it like that, if we are teaching them how to think, you will get 30 answers, okay? If you're not teaching them how to think, but you're saying to them, this is the only answer, maybe you will get only one answer, or people will be shy to speak. It's also, this is why if you will go to the kindergarten, before they got spoiled and they started to realize that they're supposed to think only about one answer, you will get a lot of answers from the kids. They have a lot of imagination. Each one of them have his own expressions, whatever it is. Each one of them have a free will. So the speech is a possibility of exposing my free will, and the intelligence is the reasonable thing that we have. The Hebrew sages are saying the most highest thing is a free will. Until here is fine, and it's being exposed through the speech. So we have the ability to speak. Now let's go one step ahead. Again, I'm closing the share screen and I'm asking a question, and please try to tell me, okay, this ability to speak. What is so uniqueness between this and the rest abilities of the human person, except for the free will? Leave the free will aside. What is, we have ability to do a lot of things. One of them is also to speak. Now try to find what is the difference between the speech that we can do and the rest of the things that we can do. There's a uniqueness for the speech.
Creativity.
The speech can give us the creativity that is here inside. Okay,
Yeah, bring ideas to life. Yeah,
but to bring them to life. Excellent. 1 point. What else?
To inspire.
To inspire. This is also related with the creativity, but it's one of the branches or another thing very in the same family, but it's also true. Okay, it can inspire us, okay, with the words that we say. It also can take us down, but it also can inspire us. Fair enough. Okay, what else?
I think somebody
Blue skies,
already
yes.
I think somebody already mentioned that we can say thank you. No animals can say thank you. We can praise Hashem.
Okay, so we can. This is something that is also. I will connect it. First of all, thank you very much. But I will connect it also with what Ariel said, that this is inspiring us. Okay, by thanking God, basically what's happening to us is the dopamine. Okay, we spoke about this. It's also giving us inspiration. Fair enough. This is one of the ways how to bring the inspiration. What else?
Speech and action.
What is the difference between the speech and the actions?
When you are saying something, I'm going to do a conference, I'm speaking an action that I want to do, and I need to go forward in it if I believe in it. So if you say, okay, for instance, someone that lives behind us, she's 92, and she said to me, I don't bake anymore, I'm tired. And I said, okay, I will do something for you. So I baked her cookies. And speech has also something, when you say something and you don't do it, check yourself. I had to do that many times. But you need to, yeah. So speech is very important.
So what you're saying, if I understand correctly, okay, you're mentioning here another very interesting difference between the speech and the action. Speech is something that I can say without, I will call, any responsibility of action. It's a very easy way. I can speak without responsibility. Maybe I will do it, maybe I won't. Action is something that's putting the things on the ground. It's becoming a reality.
Yes.
Speech is not one. Of course, if you are speaking, if you're saying things, and if you're a serious person, so you will take your words to become an action. Okay.
Yes.
But now we see another very important difference. I hope that everybody understand and agree with me. Okay. I'm taking it out from what Angelica said to us now. That a speech, the wording that we are saying, basically have no, I will say, responsibility. I can speak without doing any action. It's very simple. If, for example, if I want to do a conference, okay, so I need to do a big checklist, and there are a lot of things that I need to do. But to say that I want to do a conference, it's very easy. I'm just saying it out of my mouth. One of the things that we want to teach people is to take responsibility on their words. But this is the most easiest way, okay, to speak, okay, to take outside. Now, this is why a speech or words can also harm people. There is a very interesting story, midrash. It's a midrash, okay? Our sages are saying to us that there was a king somewhere very far in India that he was ill, and the doctors said that the only thing that will repair him, that he will drink the milk from the lions. Fair enough. So one of the sages said, I'm going to bring the king of the lions, the milk from the lions. And he went, and he saw a lion, a female lion, and he asked for 10 lambs or something like that, and he threw the lamb to the lion. And the day after that, he threw the lamb much closer, and he was friendly with the lion. And then he took from the lion also the milk, and he came back to the king. On his way back, all of his parts of the body started to argue. Okay, his legs said, we are the most important thing. We brought the body to the lions. The hands said, no, we are more important because we took the milk from the lions. And everybody there, started to fight, okay? Who is more important? And the tongue of this man said, I'm the most important. They all laughed at the tongue and they said to him, no, you did nothing. You did nothing here. Wait, you will see. He came back to the king, and he gave the milk, and they all asked him, from where is this milk? And then the tongue said, the milk, I took it from the cows. Now they were all very angry. Come on, you went there, you promised us something, the king is suffering, and they wanted to hang him up. So the tongue said, no, you won't believe it. It is, and I took it from the lambs because I threw the lambs, and the tongue explained everything that they did. And they checked it up. They saw that it's a milk from the lions, and they prized this man, and they gave him a lot of money. And then the tongue said to all of the other parts of the body, you see, I told you that I'm the most important here. The words that I'm going to say are going to give you life or to give you death. Depends on what we're saying. Okay? So the tongue have some sort of a very easy way to speak outside on one side. On the other side, it's have a lot of power, okay? Because with the tongue, we are starting the fights. And we're also starting the love. The tongue is starting everything. this is what our sages are saying already. King Solomon is saying this, okay? He's saying, Chaim v'mavet b'yad halashon. Life and death in the tongue. We have life and death. Both of them are being held on this. Now, I will show you another thing, very important thing, as an example. And today we have it already with the internet all over the world. Go, for example, to the story of the Prince of England and Meghan. Meghan, right? This is her name? Yes. We all know in the last 2 years, they had a lot of stories that they shared with the people all over the world. And they killed the Queen. Now, I'm saying it in this way. What I want to say is that they can say with stories, with their mouth, things that can harm the kingdom more than anything else. They didn't do anything. They sat down in front of Winfrey Goldberg, this woman, okay? They spoke about a lot of things, and all of the kingdom of England spoke because they are a bit bold, so they spoke about this also, and they drowned everything, to a situation. What they did, they only spoke, but everybody with their imagination, with everything. You see the power of the tongue. If they would try to do something physically, they won't be able to do such a big thing, right? Now we're starting to understand the power of the words that we have outside from our mouth and how much it's important. And now we're coming to a very interesting say of our sages, that they're saying that the most important, I will say, commandment is, first of all, to learn with your mouth the Torah. The most important thing. What is the most important thing? Learn the Torah. Use your mouth, use your words in the right way. Try to understand, to adjust the will of God. Where did he give us his will? In the Torah. So we start, first of all, the first thing, and now we're starting to realize why it is so important for the Hebrew people to learn and to teach Torah one to each other. The mouth is very important. The mouth is showing the will. The mouth is some sort of a way of doing action in a very simple way, I will call it like that, without any hard work. Okay, you can speak, you can gospel all over the day without doing any. You don't need to sweat even one single sweetness, and go and do the main thing, learn Torah. So I want to show two things. One of them I have it in Hebrew, and one of them I have it also in English. So let's start with the English one, okay? So I'm going to share the screen again, and let's go to the, yes. It's called, just a moment. Okay, let's go to the Maimonides. Now, I don't know how much you know this book. It's a very interesting book, okay? The Mishneh Torah, what you call the Mishneh Torah. It's here. Just a moment. Not Melachim, Deot. Where do I find it? Let's go one step ahead. Mishneh Torah, Deot. Let's see if it will open this. Yay! Yay! Fine. Chapter 5.
Rabbi, are you saying Mishlei Torah?
Mishneh Torah. The meaning of the word Mishneh Torah, secondary for the Torah. Okay? Basically what the Maimonides did in this book of the 1,000 chapters, he summarized all of the oral Bible that we had until these days. So it's a secondary of the Torah. We have the written Torah, the written Bible, and the secondary of all of the oral Bible that we have is being summarized in this phenomenal book. Okay. Okay, let's read this. So there is a very interesting, there are, I will say, 7 chapters that are explaining to people how to behave. What is the right way to behave? Okay, don't be someone that is spreading your money too much. Don't be someone that is holding your money too much. Don't be someone that is have humility. Okay, learn from others. And one of the things that he's speaking here is about how to speak. Okay, so please, Dan, this is in chapter 5, halachic 7. We need to read only this. Okay, this is the part that I want you to
7.
read.
A Torah sage should not shout or shriek while speaking, like the cattle and wild beasts. Yeah, in Christianity, they're called screamers. Nor should he raise his voice overly much. Instead, he should speak gently to all people. In addition to speaking gently, he should take care not to stand at a distance, lest his speech appear like the speech of the haughty. He should greet all men before they greet him, so that they be pleased with him. He should judge everyone in a good light, speak favorably of his fellow man, never mentioning anything that is shameful to him. Love peace and pursue it.
Okay, so first of all, I have something to say in principle. Okay, unfortunately, this is the Chabad version, and the Chabad, I will say it like that. When the Maimonides wrote his book, we didn't have our own country. So one of the things that happened, especially when it came to the Christian world, to Europe, the Maimonides wrote his book in Egypt. When it came to Europe, so the priest of the Christian world took this book and changed few words. Yeah, and then they erased few words, and they erased also some halachas, whatever it is. Now, today, we have a very exact Maimonides, okay? And I'm going to show you something very important in the beginning. Unfortunately, the Chabad is still using the one from the exile. That is not the exact one. So it starts here, the Torah sage should not, and etc. So I can say to myself, it's not me. I'm not a Torah sage. Maybe I am a Torah sage, but each one of you are not a Torah sage. It's not. This is not written. What is written down in the exact book. In the exact book, it says, those who are learning from sages of the Israel, okay, Talmid Chachamim, those who are learning from sages. If you want to learn from sages, this is the way that you need to behave. If you want to become more related with God and you're learning from the sages, the way of behaving is to speak in a quiet way, to speak gently with people, to speak in a way that you don't need to be outside of them, to take too much distance, to say to yourself, okay, I'm very up there with myself. And the most important thing is, I think, the other side, okay? To greet, okay, every person that he meets, okay? To be in a pleased way, to judge everyone in a good light. We have stories for that. About this thing, because a lot of times you can say to yourself, my interpretation is, and you're getting angry on people and something like that, and they didn't have any intention for those things. So to try to have the right attitude, the right light in compared to others. Now, those are things that are related with the wordings of person. How to speak. And the connection of this is also to love peace and to pursue it. So to run after peace. By the way, in the Hebrew version, you have it 3 times the word peace, okay? He's 1, 2, and 3. And it's very important. It's not a mistake or coincidence that we called the Shulchan Aruch, okay, the way how to behave, the Brit Shalom. Shalom is peace, okay, covenant of peace. Because, and it's also finishing, the last word of this book is peace, okay? And the same things of the Maimonides is here, is being brought in the Brit Shalom book. It's also true that Rabbi Sherki had a son that was killed in a terror attack, that his name was Shalom, okay, Shalom. So it's also related, but it's all one thing, okay? To have the Shalom. I want, first of all, if someone have any questions till now, I want to go one step ahead. Before I will go, I will say something in principle in English, and then we're going to learn some Hebrew and English together, okay? So the most important thing that I want to say is one of the advices that our sages are giving us is that every night before you go to sleep, you need to think with yourself, to do some sort of a measurement, scale about your behavior of the day. It's very, I will say, it is very clear. Today also the sages of the world are saying, also take a piece of paper and say about 3 things, thank you to God for the things that you had today. And if after 21 days, it will change your mindset for a lot of thankfulness, okay? So also the sages of the world are saying so things like that. And our sages are also saying those things to do. One of the things that I'm learning here, okay, and my sages also spoke about this with us, that before you're going to sleep, also ask yourself, have you had 2 or 3 people that you said to them good words, some sort of thankfulness in the last day? Try to find every day that there are at least 2 or 3 people that you are prizing them, saying good words to them, and thanking them. It's interesting. If you're putting this on your, I will say, on your schedule, something, today it's very easy. Organize for yourself, twice a day that it will, the phone will tell you, who did you thank today? Okay, something like that. It will bring you to a different stage with the relationship with others. And even if you didn't told him, but you have in your mind something that you will say to yourself, for the things that we did today, I want to thank him. So next time you will see him, you will thank him. But it will bring you to a different stage. It's all with the wordings. We are learning today about the importance, if we want to learn Torah with our mouth, and we want to acknowledge God and to come to a stage where we are having faith with a deep understanding, there is a way also how to function with our mouth. Those are the things that we are learning today. If there are any questions, good. If not, I'm going to jump to another very important thing. Please, don't be shy. Okay, we'll continue. Not a problem. Now, what I'm going to show here, this is Hebrew. Okay, in a moment, I'm going to explain what's written down here. It's also the Maimonides, and he's explaining one of the sayings that we have. This we have in also in English. One of the sayings that we have in the ethics of our fathers. Okay, ethics of the fathers. No. Ethics of the fathers. In chapter 1, let's go. Almost at the end of this chapter. It's very interesting. I don't know I learned it, but maybe we need to learn once all these things. Read Mishnah 17. Please. We saw this Mishnah already today, but we'll see it again. Now we will understand it a bit more. Please.
All right, 17. His son Shimon would say, "All my life I have been raised among the wise, and I have found nothing better for the body than silence. The essential thing is not study, but deed, and one who speaks excessively brings on sin."
So first of all, we have two interesting things here. Okay, the first one and the last one that are speaking about the importance about what to speak and how much not to expand about this too much, not to speak too much, or word like that. And the silence is very important. In a moment, I'm going to expand this a bit. It's very interesting also to mention the inside thing, okay? If you think that being silent is important and to speak, it's important, and everything else, don't forget that the deed is more important than just all my thoughts, okay? All my, what we call the creeds. I believe in this, but I'm doing something else. No. There's supposed to be correlation between your thoughts, your speech, and your deeds, okay? If they don't have any correlation, so you're against unity. We do believe in unity of the human, unity of God, whatever it is, everything, okay, united. But I want the Maimonides, the Rambam, the Maimonides, is taking this Mishnah and is explaining it in a very length side, where he's explaining, he's giving a lot of things. So I'm going to show the Mishnah and I'm going to say the main things, okay, from the Mishnah, because I didn't find it in English. I'm sorry. Maybe you can find the Maimonides. That is if you can find, if someone can find it, very fast. The Maimonides and the Ethics of the Father in English. I think that it's important to read it, just to read it, and then you're starting to realize. But I will say this in my words, okay? Basically, what he's saying that there are 5 parts for our words that we're taking out from our mouth, okay? Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. And those 5 parts that we have, and we need to think with ourselves how we are rejecting things that are prohibited, and how we are admiring and bringing, enlightening things that you are allowed to speak. Now, there's also in the middle things. So let's go one step by step. The first one, those are the things that are related with the commandment, mitzvah. And this is learning Torah, Kriyat Torah, Limuda, learning the Torah, reading the Torah, learning the Shulchan Aruch, the learning things that we need to learn, learning also the way of believing in God, or what exactly is God, whatever it is. And this is what it's also written down, that you need to learn Torah. And it's very important. This is the scale of this thing is like all the other deeds, okay, that we do. Fair enough. This is the first part. So we all know that. The second part, those are the things that you are not allowed to say. Okay, dibur ne'esar. For example, gossip. Go and do gossip, one against each other. Or to say a lie inside the court. I saw this man killing someone else, but we never saw him. God forbidden, okay? This is something that you're not allowed to do. So you're using your mouth not in the right way. So this is, by the way, also using your mouth in a very low words, very high, we know other people that are speaking in a very bad way, or a lot of gossip, or very bad things against others. You need to be aware not to do those things. So this is the second part. So the first part is the commandments, things like learning Torah, learning faith in God and everything else. Second part is those are things that are not allowed at all. Now we're going to the third part. I'm going to read it in Hebrew, and then I will explain this in English, okay? He's calling it Hadibur Animas, the discussion that I will say, no. Let me read it in Hebrew, a few words, a sentence, and then I will explain it, okay? הדיבור הנמאס אשר אין בו תועלת לאדם בנפשו ולא עבירה ולא מרי. כרוב סיפור ההמון במה שאירע ומה שהיה. ומה הם מנהגי מלך פלוני בהיכלו, okay? Basically, listen good. מה הם מנהגי מלך פלוני בהיכלו? I didn't give the example of the Queen of England by coincidence. I gave it because I read these Maimonides as a preparation for this class, for this learning together. Minagei Melech Ploni Bechalo is what is happening in the Buckingham Palace. What is exactly the behavior in the Buckingham Palace? And he's saying it's not a sin to speak about those things, but on the other side, it doesn't give us any benefits. It's just wasting our time. We'll call it like that. It's called Sicha Betela. It's speaking, it's using the most highest tool that we have as a human being with nonsense. You with me? I remember the days that they spoke about what happened there in the palace, and I said to myself, why people are wasting their time, so much time, for nonsense? This guy, Diana, okay, Diana, remember, we all remember Diana. She died. Why she died like that? And she died like that. And this was people who are in charge. All those discussions, all those words, what are we gaining from those things? Except for nonsense. Wasting our time. This is what he's saying here. The meaning of this is, do you want to waste your time, your life with nonsense? You can do this. There is some sort of a TV production, or it was called Dallas, very, very long time ago, 30, 40 years ago. It was a episode after episode, day after day, for 40 minutes, for 50 minutes. The rich people, what they're doing in their lives, and they're doing nothing except for fights and all sorts of things, just to waste your life with nothing and nothing and nothing. To use your mouth, okay, such a high possibility of potential with your mouth to learn Torah, and the other side to use it for nonsense. The Maimonides is saying, you lost it. Okay. So this is the third part. The fourth part, the Chelek Arviim, is where you're learning or you're speaking about. This is something that is very, I will say, people. It's very important to do. Okay, and it's speaking about learning and teaching ourselves a lot of things that will bring us to learn the Torah and the knowledge of God in a better way. How to behave, what to do, in the right way. What are the things that you need to get away from? You're using your mouth for good things. And the fifth part, it's called the mutar, what is allowed, okay? Where if you need, for example, to go and I'm working in the high tech. And now I need to speak with my team, okay, with my colleagues, how exactly to write the specific code for the computer to manage and to do what I need to do. So those are things that you need to do it, okay? You need, or someone else I will say, some sort of a place where he's selling food for others. So you need to speak with people, okay? This is people asking things, whatever it is. Those are things that are, it's something that you need to do. It's allowed to do. It's okay to do. You need to get to live, okay? You don't need to speak too much in those things. You can be very insidist, don't need to speak too much. So those are basically the 5 main things. I will summarize. The commandment, okay, of learning Torah, acknowledging God, the things that you are not allowed to speak, like lies, like all sorts of, how do you call it? We said it before, speaking against others. The third one, those are things that are nonsense. If you think about this deeply, seriously, you see that it's not giving you anything, any benefit, except for just some gossip, whatever it is. The newspaper is full of them, of this nonsense, okay? Also the TV, full of them. And the fourth one is the things that are preparation for learning Torah. And the fifth one, those are the things that you're allowed to do when you're working, whatever it is, for things for your living. And those are the things. Now, he is continuing on. I won't read it because it's in Hebrew, but he's continuing on and he's saying, look, I saw a lot of rabbis here in Egypt that are not thinking straight. For example, if we have a marriage, and someone is trying to prize and to bring songs that was written by the Arabs, everybody will say to him, shut up, don't sing those songs. But if you will bring songs that was written by the Hebrew people, and those are ugly songs with a lot of sexuality meaning, they will say, but it's a Jewish, someone Jewish wrote it. And he's saying it's just the opposite way around. It's not the question who wrote it or what language it is. The question is, what is the content of the song? If the content of the song is praise to God, praise to the couple that is getting married, so I don't care who wrote it. And if the inside, the content of the song is a lot of things that nonsense or even bad things, so I don't want to sing them. He's giving this example, okay, of what's happening in his life, in his things. And then he's continuing on and he's starting to go inside to a lot of things that are related with how to speak with people. As you can see here, I have a book of the Chaim, what we call, it's a very thick book with a lot of things and a lot of messages. How exactly you need to speak, to control your mouth, and to do with the right things. Again, this is a Maimonides, and I'm advising everybody to go. I will try to find it also again. I didn't find it. I looked for this in English because to read it, it's amazing to read those words. It's very simple words. Everything is very clear. It's don't need to be, someone that learned in the yeshiva for 15 years to learn those words. And you can, on this specific Mishnah, the Maimonides is explaining how to speak and what is the most important, what is less important. So let me summarize for a moment what we spoke here today as a preparation for accepting the words of God, the will of God through his words in the Torah, what we spoke here. First of all, we explained that the uniqueness of the humanity is on one side the reasons, the possibility of thinking and doing reasons. And on the other side also, very important uniqueness is his will that is being exposed through his words, through his speech, through his talk, okay? And then we continued on and we started to see, or we explained the difference between the actions that is asking us to do things with more, I will say, effort, and on the other side with less effort, only speaking. And it also can go much more broader in a much more effective way, okay? When we're doing something, it will only do effect on the things that we are doing it. But when we're speaking, it could do effect on all over the world, okay? Then we explained, or we showed how to discuss, how to speak in this, as someone who is learning from sages. And we saw also the Maimonides that is explaining more and more about what are the things that is good to discuss and what are the things that you need to put aside, okay? Some are really sins. For example, lying is a sin. to lie, not to say the exact words, to lie in the court is very easy. It's a big sin to discuss or to say bad words about on your friend or on people. Okay, it's also it's a big sin. And there are also things that are nonsense. You don't need to be there, and go with yourself to the main important things. This is how to use this tool of the mouth, but it's a very uniqueness for the human being. This was another preparation towards learning the Torah or acceptance of the Torah. Another week and a half. So in a few minutes, we will also have, all of us, a few minutes to have questions or something. But Rabbi Shmuel, thank you for joining us. If it's okay, you can continue with us, please.
I'd like to continue from what the rabbi's been speaking about. And, power of speech has always been something central in leadership as a whole. Yehuda Halevi in his Kuzari talks a lot about that. What is unique about the human compared to the animal, or certainly to the plants, is our ability to speak. It's a tremendous vehicle, but the question is, what do we do with it? Noahide, who was a little bit later than Maimonides, he says in his commentary to Leviticus in the beginning that when you bring a sacrifice, you have to have three things in mind: speech, action, and thought. You have to basically subordinate your actions to proper speech and intention. It's not necessarily simple. Like the rabbi mentioned, some people use their power of speech for illicit talk in sexual issues or in dirty language, which is a tremendous pity, given that we have such a tremendous power to speak in a positive way. And the rabbinical circles actually mention in various ways that Moses, until the beginning of Deuteronomy, actually supposedly needed speech therapy. He himself says a number of times that I have a difficulty to speak, and the Israelites don't hear me. How is Pharaoh going to listen to me? That's what it says in Exodus in the beginning. Yet the longest speech in the Bible, I think, is the first 11 chapters of Deuteronomy, where Moses speaks and speaks and speaks, and he wasn't a spring chicken then, was already 119 years old, less than 2 months before his passing away. He became a leader when he was 80, and when he was 80, he had more difficulty in speaking than when he was 119. Now, it's not because he went through a lot of speech therapy. It isn't the issue at all. I'm joking. When he became a senior person, well respected by the whole community, his speech was well received by other people. There's a commercial in Israel that the telephone companies use. There's one person speaking and the other side is listening. If you really want communication to work, it's a two-sided street. As the rabbi mentioned, people that lie or don't say all the truth, their words are not respected because what they're saying doesn't necessarily represent the actual truth. The third of the 10 commandments found is not to cast the divine name in vain, which is included if a person takes an oath, which is not completely true. He is violating that precious gift that we have been given to use the power of speech for positive virtue. I mean, with all the years of international political science, you find that many political leaders say one thing and mean something else entirely, but that's not a religious orientation. There has to be a real correlation between what you say and what you genuinely mean. When a person approaches God in prayer, if you're not totally authentic at the time of prayer when you're asking of his divine mercy, what do you expect for him to say? He's saying to you, listen, you are appealing to me, but you're not sincere in what you're saying. What do you want me to be sincere with you when you're not sincere with me? We have to at least express what we are saying with absolute honesty and sincerity. And the same goes when we are doing a commandment and doing it to an ultimate way. we're not just putting a V that we did the ritual, but it really reflects our internal feeling that that's the way we should behave. And the proper preparation for the Torah receiving, as the rabbi mentioned, is to have that authentic attitude that what we're about to do reflects our deep and inner feelings of what we feel. I'll give you a simple example. I'm sorry to use something a little bit too simple, but it's true. When you want to share intimacy with your spouse, there is an expectancy on the two sides of what you're saying to each other represents the truth and the openness that you have between the two of you, and that reflects the trust that you have between you. So if that's what you feel with a human spouse, you can imagine that when you're approaching God, that authenticity is even more crucial in our behavior. And to my understanding, I hope Rabbi agrees with me, that the 7-week period between Passover and the revelation is part of that, to basically develop our communication skills and authenticity of our commitment towards God. And that's, I think, something that we can appreciate a lot of towards you plural, because of your interest in getting closer to worshiping Him. Obviously, this represents a genuine attitude that you have to become closer, and I would like to bless each one of you individually and plurally that your mission of getting closer to God will be successful as a reflection of your authentic feelings, and with the hope that that will improve our power of speech between us as well, because we know that the closer we feel towards Him, we should also feel closer towards each other. And incidentally, in the biblical portions, right after the revelation is the week where we read about the priestly blessing, which we're getting close to. And there the priests had to bless us with absolute love, because since they were worshiping God on the highest level, their blessing has to be authentically reflecting love towards mankind. God chose to give the Torah to human beings, not to animals, not to plants. He gave it to us out of His ultimate love. So let's hopefully share it together in that way as well. This is what I wanted to say to you. Welcome, Tess. Thank you. So you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rabbi Shmuel. Okay, now we have a few minutes that, as usual, if you want to ask any questions, you want to mention something. Jacob, good to see you also. Angela from England, I'm sorry that we spoke too much today about the Queen.
Rabbi Chaim, speaking about authenticity, where is that balance between authenticity and kindness? I mean, I'm just not a gentle person by nature, and it's very, very, it's easy for me to rub people the wrong way, no matter how much I try. And so, as I've gotten older, I've learned to be authentic, and genuine. Sometimes maybe a little too blunt for people, but, I have a tendency to lean towards authenticity rather than a flowery kindness, because there's so much falsity in this world that flowery just isn't real. There's no authenticity to being flowery, and I don't know. I have difficulty with the balance.
And Shmuel, I'm saying a sentence in Hebrew, and then Rabbi Shmuel will explain this. Okay, please.
Great pleasure.
אם אתה יכול להסביר את ההבדל בין להיות ישיר, אותנטיסיטי, אוקיי? להיות בן אדם שהוא לא מספר הכל, שומר חלק, לבין מישהו שהוא, איך אמרו חז"ל, להיזהר מהאנשים שהם, שהם צבועים.
מדברים שכר כזה,
כן, מהצבועים, להיזהר מהצבועים. תסביר שיש בעצם 3 דברים, זה בסדר. I will say in general.
Well, Rabbi is basically saying we got 3 levels there. You got a person who speaks straight, but he doesn't actually say everything. He conceals certain things which he doesn't mention at all. In particular, the rabbi is highlighting the fact that hypocrisy is something which is unacceptable entirely. It was the king Janai who said to his wife, "Don't be scared of the righteous and not righteous, but rather of those who speak righteous and act in the opposite direction." There are people who are very, as you said, are very kind in verbal speech, but they stab you in the back at the same time. Israelis have a tendency to be, Dan, more like what you're saying, to be very direct. Sometimes when you're direct, you sound rude, but in actual fact, it's not really rude. It's just being more authentic and saying directly what you're feeling. And a lot of people tend to be subtle, especially, forgive me, Anglos have that even more. They're very subtle in what they say. There's an expression when I was working overseas, and if they say, "Shmuel, you can come anytime, just give me a shout," that means you're never going to be invited. If they want me to come, they'll tell me, "You please come this Friday, 2 weeks' time from now at 8 p.m. They say, "Just phone, you're always welcome." Dan, I assure you that means you're never going to be invited. Maybe if you phone and invite yourself, they'll find an excuse that they're not available that weekend. But of course, they really mean it. So, yeah, what you say is definitely true. In a world full of false, it's hard to actually comprehend with hypocrisy. That's for sure. Sure. I don't know if I exactly represented Rav Chaim, but that's what I think he was trying to say. Yeah.
I don't have a question, but the thing that I was learning about too is embarrassing people. It is so easy to embarrass people. I had to, you have to be so careful not to like offend or embarrass. I'm reading this book. I don't know if you know it. Do you know this book? Yeah. It's exactly what we were talking about today. It's exactly. And so, yeah, one thing at a time. That's all I can do is one thing at a time, not to embarrass anyone.
Well, I find Angelica, people have weaponized disgust, and that's just, to me, the biggest turnoff. So rather than be offended, they just show disgust as if it's a defense mechanism, or they grab the high moral ground in some false sense. And it's usually, like Rabbi Shmuel saying, it's a hypocrisy that to me is unacceptable entirely, for sure.
Okay. It's all good. It's all good. I'm learning.
I just did a quick comment. In our Brit Olam book, there is a section that talks about ethics of our fathers. Whoop, sorry. If you guys don't have this book, you can get it from Noahide World Center. It has ethics of our fathers and also laws of the foundations of Torah, Mishnah. A little bit, not everything, but some things are in there. It's a good source. And the last thing I wanted to say was, Rabbi, it's very difficult not to gossip, because gossip is so sweet. When people talk about it, you get sucked in so fast. Before you know it, you're already going, "Oh yeah, I saw her the other day. She was wearing a nice dress," and
I know.
It's very difficult.
So work on it. By the way, Jaco, I think, thank you very much. I think he went down already, but I sent now the link of the Maimonides that I read in Hebrew. Take the link. It's the exact link. You can read it in English. It is very, I'm saying it's very nice, and you're more than right. You can leave a lot. I'm saying it like that. Okay, let me say it in a very hard way. I think that most of the people in this room are in a different situation, so I'm allowing myself to say this in this way. When we were young, 30 years ago, and we did seminars to younger kids than us, okay, younger people than us. So one of the things that we said to them is that they need to be aware not to find themselves when they're 70 years old, that the only thing that they did all of their life was to eat, to be some sort of a rubbish train, to take outside, and on the other side, to take outside from the mouth a lot of rubbish also. This is not why we came to this world. Okay? Came to this world to bring something with more value. We're not just some sort of machine that is taking the food and separating it from the rubbish and the main thing, and also using the mouth to take out rubbish. Gossip is a rubbish that is going out from our mouth. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's much easier than what people think. It's much easier than what people think. Okay? It's first of all, it's a decision inside you, but it's much easier than what you think. Fair enough.
One of the problems with sweet gossip is not so much what you're saying, but also the recipient who hears it. It may lead to jealousy, it may lead to hatred, it may lead to saying things that you don't even mean when you're saying it, but the way somebody else takes it can be very harassing and all one thing. And it's an art. One of the things I give guidance to in Israel is when you have people in the state of bereavement, what to say and particularly what not to say when you go to a bereavement call. And some people don't exactly know how to communicate when you go to these kind of places. Something which is important to learn how to do. It's a tool.
I have a question, Rabbi.
Yes.
So I've been taking a course and it's been in series and whatnot, and the pricing hasn't been, I thought the pricing was kind of clear at the beginning, but there wasn't like a total value. And then now I'm kind of like midway in it, and another person who's taking the course is also confused with the pricing, because the pricing that's being requested is not like lining up to what was initially mentioned, but it was kind of ambiguous. And so I'm a bit like torn a little bit, because it's like, you know, I know that Rambam says that you should, you know, always, I think this is what he says, sorry if I'm misquoting, but to basically always have, like, not to think any ill will of the person unless you've removed all doubt that the person has ill will. But I was speaking to this one of my classmates about this pricing confusion, and it's difficult, I guess, to, I don't know, we've asked the course instructor about the pricing, and it's always kind of come back a little ambiguous. So I'm just wondering when it becomes like, when it's gossip, when it's like
very, very good question. I'm really happy for that. Again, as you can see, I'm showing again, okay, a big thick book that is speaking about the gossip and everything else. I will say it like that. We spoke about this also a few times. One of the most important things with us is that we are putting also inside our actions what is our will, okay? So if you're speaking with this guy, with this other guy, as something that in your will, your desire is more about a gossip thing, so this is wrong. But if you're speaking with this other guy with the intention of, you know, saving your money or not being, spreading your money or whatever it is, and to bring this course to a higher level or to go out of the course, so it's, your intention is not gossip. Your intention is to take the most, I will say, the best benefit from this specific course, and you're doing this with another one that is also feeling this frustration from the situation that you got promised for one thing and you're not getting it. Okay, so it's a lot a lot of this specific thing is a question of what is your intention here. It's also part of the thing. Okay, Ariel, you understand what I'm saying? Fair enough. This is a very good point. I'm happy that you raised it up. We can learn this a lot. We can deal only on this, very, very long sessions with a lot of learning. I just wanted here to bring in front of us also that all of these things that is related with what we're speaking, what we're taking out from our mouth, we need to think good before we're doing it. We have a say, this, the Chafetz Chaim, okay? The Chafetz Chaim, he said always that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So always we need to remember to speak half than what we are listening to. Use our mouth halfway. It's thank God that we only have 1 mouth, not 2. Think about how much harm we can do with 2 mouths.
I really love how you said the linking of the actions and the will, and people need to pay attention to that in everything they do. And gossip is definitely not something anybody condones. But Ariel, I think in your case, you're trying to probe the standard of honesty, right? And you know, there's I spent a lot of years in sales and saw a lot of deceitful tactics that were unethical, and they get to the point where they're unconscionable. And yeah, there's nothing worse than an unconscionable act for gain when something's not as promised. And holding a teacher to that standard, you just be clear on what the line of unconscionability is. And you know, if you're loving the material but you're not liking the way it's delivered, is very, very difficult. But it's beautiful to see how your baby's grown.
Mm-hmm.
I know, she's almost 14 months and she's walking.
Wow.
What amazing.
Excellent. 14 months. Anyways, Rabbi, beautiful class. Speech is so important, and it's something that we never run out of opportunity to grow on and adjust. Oh, it looks like Laura's got her hand up. Rabbi, I'll
okay.
mute.
Last question, please. Yes.
No, the book that you just mentioned, it's from Chafetz Chaim, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
And I'm going to put a link in the chat box. Can you please take a look if that's the one you're talking about? Because I think I found the English. Hilchot Lashon Hara.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, good. No problem.
Important
I'm going to
stuff.
read it this week.
Fair enough. Okay. Thank you very, very much, everybody.
Rabbi, are we on for next week? Hashem willing?
Yeah.
All right, folks. So, yeah, I will be back in about an hour and 15 minutes myself with our Working Together series with Rabbi Carmi Ingber. He's going to finish up on the book of Ezra today. Always got a unique angle and tries to bring it into today's light. And more than that, he's wide open to questions. And it's good to see everybody in the Zoom room. Bart, we hope you feel better soon. I know you were a little under the weather, and I hear Hans coughing there. Hans, hope you're all well. But it's a joy to see you all here in the Zoom meeting, as always. And if anybody out there listening wants to join in on the Zoom meeting, feel free to message me. Send me a personal message, and I would be glad to make sure you get added. The links to the Zoom meetings, always a joy, and always a joy also to have Rabbi Hirschler join in. Always got some wise material to share that's clear, and we're thankful for that. So until next week, folks, we're going to sign out of our Genesis class. Till then, have a wonderful, wonderful week, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye.